All right, lean in. Ever notice how the quiet person in the room can dismantle nonsense with a single eyebrow raise? Yeah, today we're decoding the people who don't talk much, the silent strategists, the low volume, high impact humans. If words were currency, they're Warren Buffett. If attention were Wi Fi, they're the only ones with a stable connection. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly why the softest voice can carry the heaviest truth and how to spot a quiet powerhouse from a mile away. One, quiet is not empty. It's bandwidth management. People who talk less aren't blank. They're buffering something complex. They're not avoiding speech. They're allocating signal to the good stuff, noticing context, predicting reactions, filtering noise. Fewer words does not equal fewer thoughts. It's actually a premium plan. Less spam, more signal. If quiet is bandwidth, what exactly are they downloading while everyone else is lagging? 2. Observation is their cheat code. While chatter scatters attention, the quiet calibrate. They watch the micro pause before a lie, the micro smile before a brag, the micro flinch before a confession. They hear verbs people didn't say and see feelings people didn't show. This isn't mysticism. It's pattern recognition built from reps. If you listen long enough, human behavior starts looping like a predictable playlist. So why don't they jump in if they see so much? Because they understand the cost of speaking. 3. Words are a contract, and they read the fine print. Talk is cheap until you sign it with your name. Quiet people understand that words create expectations, alliances, and receipts. They don't promise what they can't deliver or perform certainty when they're still thinking. Precision over performance. Fewer syllables, tighter guarantees. That's why, when they do speak, people treat it like a signed check. But what happens when life keeps asking for louder, and they keep choosing smarter? 4. Silence isn't fear, it's regulation. In a world addicted to instant takes, quiet folks hit the delay post button. That's not passivity, it's impulse control. They can feel the hurricane without becoming the hurricane. They metabolize emotion before broadcasting it. You might call it restraint. They call it clarity. If you've ever seen someone de-escalate a ticking time bomb with 3 calm sentences, you've met this superpower. Okay, but what are they protecting so carefully behind that calm? 5. Boundaries disguised as chill. Quiet people aren't cold, they're curated. Not every room gets a backstage pass. If you ask a high-value question, you'll get a high-value answer. If you fish for drama, enjoy the weather report. Their silence is selective access, not an empty vault. Pro tip: earn their trust, and you'll discover they're not quiet at all. They're just not public. And where does that selective access come from? Often, an origin story. 6. Adaptive silence. When quiet became safe. For many, quiet started as armor. Maybe speaking up used to invite ridicule, conflict, or "you're too much." So they learned a smoother dance. Observe first, decide later, speak last. Over time, the skill stuck. But it upgraded from survival mode to strategic excellence. What began as defense turned into design. I choose when and how to be heard. If quiet began as protection, why do so many of them still connect so deeply? 7. Depth over decibels. Small talk isn't their native language. Meaning is. They'll skip the weather and ask what keeps you awake at 3 a.m. They remember what you said on a random Tuesday 2 months ago and check in on it. That's not clingy, that's attentive. They're building relational architecture, quietly. When they show up in 4K. But how do they keep track of so much under the hood without frying the motherboard? 8. The high sensitivity engine. Many quiet folks run on finely tuned nervous systems. They notice more inputs, tone, texture, timing, which makes them great at empathy and terrible at overstimulating environments. Crowded rooms feel like 47 tabs open with autoplay. So they go offline to recharge, then come back with insight your loudest friend missed completely. That's not antisocial. That's maintenance. Maintenance creates clarity, and clarity turns into creativity. Watch this. 9. Stillness breeds synthesis. You can shout ideas, or you can refine them. Guess which one leaves a mark? Quiet people let thoughts marinate. They draft, redraft, throw away, resurrect, distill. Then they drop a line that makes the whole room go, wait, run that back. Innovation loves quiet conditions. It hates performative noise. Loud may trend. Distilled endures. If they're so good at insight, why do people misread them so often? 10. Presence that weighs more than volume. Silence gets mislabeled as awkward because we forgot how to share air without filling it. But the quiet person's presence is dense, like gravity. When they finally speak, the room tilts toward them. Not because they demanded attention, but because they earned credibility. Their restraint built tension. Their clarity releases it. That contrast, that's the show. Bridge to close. So how do you work with, love, or become one of these quiet heavyweights without trying to fix the quiet out of them? Practical quick hits. Yes, free upgrades. If you're the quiet one, write first, speak second. Notes turn fog into sentences. Then choose the sentence that still makes sense tomorrow morning. If you love one, stop interrogating their pauses. Ask better questions and let silence answer too. If you manage one, give them pre-reads, time to think, and the floor when they're ready. You'll get fewer hot takes and more accurate calls. If you're not quiet, but want the edge, try the 5-second delay. Breathe. Ask, what's true and useful right now? Watch your hit rate improve. Mini myths. Quick roast session. Quiet means shy. Sometimes, often, it means observant. Quiet means weak. Tell that to the person who wins negotiations by speaking last. Quiet means nothing's happening. Wrong. It means everything's happening where it matters. Inside, then outside, in that order. Want the polished one-liners you can tattoo on your group chat? Here. Volume is not a value. Precision is charisma for thinkers. Silence is where thoughts audition. If your idea can't survive a pause, it wasn't ready. Rapid-fire habits that build quiet power. 1. Protect your prime hours like a dragon hoarding gold. Think first. Talk later. Second batch conversations. Depth hates constant context switching. 3. Use parking lots. When you're not ready to speak, say, I'm thinking this through. Give me 10 and I'll bring something crisp. 4. Replace sorry with standby. Standby. I want to give you my best thinking. 5. Post conversation notes. Future, you will thank past you for the receipts. 6. Make silence explicit. We can sit with this for a second. Boom. Awkward becomes intentional. 7. Keep a one-line library. When you do speak, you've got language sharpened to a point. A few "oh wow" contrasts to land the plane. Loud confidence fills space. Quiet confidence shapes it. Loud control dominates. Quiet control calibrates. Loud urgency accelerates. Quiet urgency focuses. Loud presence wants attention. Quiet presence earns it. Now, let's thread the whole arc. People who don't talk much aren't missing parts. They're using different settings. They optimize for quality, not quantity. Depth, not drama. Synthesis, not spectacle. They won't compete for airtime because they're competing with a higher standard. Will what I say be true, useful, and mine? When that's your bar, silence isn't awkward. It's craftsmanship. If this hit home, maybe you're the quiet storm or you love one. Here's the gentle challenge. Don't force volume. Refine impact. Give your ideas the courtesy of a pause. Let your nervous system cool the take before you played it. And if you're the friend of a quiet person, stop fishing with noise. Ask real questions and wait. You might hear the most important sentence of your week. Call to action, but make it human. If you learned something, drop a single in the comments so the quiet crew can find each other. Share this with the loudest person you know and the quietest person you love. Both will recognize themselves. And subscribe if you want more mind food that respects your attention like it's a limited edition. Next up, we're unpacking why overthinking is actually mismanaged brilliance and how to route it toward action without sanding off your depth. You in?